Hello everyone, this is Ikhlaq Khan. In the series of videos for Economics Class 12 Macroeconomics, we started chapter Commercial Bank and the Central Bank. In this chapter, what we have discussed is the basic functions of commercial bank. We have started the chapter Banking, the commercial banks and the central bank. We have discussed the meaning of commercial bank, borrowing rate, lending rate. Then we have discussed the primary function and secondary function. We discussed this function in detail. I hope you all have prepared these notes nicely and you have gone through these things nicely. Now in this video, what we are going to start is the one of the very important chapter, that is the money creation. Under this chapter, we will continue with the topic money creation. Now the first and foremost concept is the concept of money creation. As the name itself suggests, money creation means creating money. Commercial bank as a whole perform one of the most important function, and that is the creation of money, which is also known as the credit creation. Through the process of money creation, commercial banks are able to create credit which is far excess of the initial deposits. Let me tell you one thing very clearly, that this portion is very important, because from this portion there are very high chances of one of the numerical question which will be from this topic only. So you are better to be nicely concentrate on this topic. Credit creation means through the process of money creation, commercial banks are able to create credit which is far excess of the initial deposit. Why? Because in commercial bank perform two functions: accepting deposit and advancing loan. Once if they are accepting deposits of 10,000, does not mean they are advancing loan, or they can advance the loan of 10,000 only. This topic only we are discussing over here, that the commercial bank are creating money, they are creating credits. From the initial deposits of this 10,000, they are able to lend more than 3 times, 4 times, or say 5 times. Though suppose for example we are taking initial deposit of 10,000, but commercial banks are able to lend more than 50,000 or 55,000. So this whole process of creating credit which is far excess than the initial deposit is known as the credit creation and money creation. Let us see how commercial bank used to do these things. For seeing these things, there are certain assumptions. Two basic assumptions are there which we have to look after. The first assumption for this is entire commercial banking system is one unit and they are termed as bank. Over here we will not differentiate it as scheduled bank, non-scheduled, or SBI, or Federal Bank, or some other banks. What we are going to do over here, that entire commercial banking we will term them as a bank only. The whole commercial is termed as a bank, they will be termed as a single unit. This is the first assumption. Hope this is clear, that all commercial banks are termed as bank. Next assumption is all receipt and payment in the economy are routed through the banks. Now all receipt and payment means whatever receipt will be there in economy and whatever payment will be there in economy, all the receipt and the payment will be through the bank only. That's why all the payment are made through checks, means through bank, and all the receipts are deposited in the bank. Whatever receipt will be there, that receipt will be deposited in the bank, and whatever payment will be done, that will be done through checks, because payment can be done in cash form also. And it is not necessary that all the receipt will be kept in the bank. There are chances that the receipt will be kept as a saving also. I hope the concept is clear. That's why it is one of the assumption in order to understand the process of credit creation. This is second very important assumption, that all the receipt will be kept in the bank and all the payment will be done through the bank only. No cash mode of payment will be there. I hope two assumptions are clear to you. The deposits held by the banks are used for giving loan, because the bank used to perform this function, then only they are earning money. Then it is legally compulsory for the banks to keep a certain minimum fraction of their deposits, as a reserve. Means suppose if bank have total deposit of 10,000 crores, does not mean bank will lend whole 10,000 crore. They have to keep certain reserve with them. They cannot lend all the money. So it is legally compulsory to keep certain amount out of the total deposits with the bank itself, and the fraction of the total deposit with the bank keep with them as a reserve is known as LRR, legal reserve ratio. The word LRR, legal reserve ratio, means the fraction of total deposits with the bank that bank will keep with them, and the remaining portion is available or bank will lend it over. So the fraction is called the legal reserve ratio and is fixed by the central bank. Now it is not only commercial bank who will decide that out of 10,000 crores I will keep 2,000 crores and remaining 8,000 crore I will lend. This fraction, the 2,000 crore or 1,000 crore or 7,000 crore, whatever fraction as a reserve to be kept with the commercial bank will be decided by the central bank of the country, and in case of central bank of a country it is the apex body, which is RBI in case of India. I hope the concept of LRR, legal reserve ratio, is clear to you. Moving forward, let us see that why only fraction of deposits are kept as a reserve. Now it is necessary to keep the certain factors of reserve. Why it is necessary to reserve, or why it is so? There are two reasons: that all the depositors do not approach the bank for withdrawal of money at the same time. They do not also they do not withdraw the entire amount at one go. Means if bank has total deposit of say 20 lakh, so bank can keep certain amount with them. It is necessary to keep certain amount with them as a reserve, and remaining amount they can lend as a loan to others, those who are in requirement. Why it is necessary to keep the reserve? Because bank has presumptions that all the depositors do not approach the bank for the withdrawal of money. All the depositors of this 2 lakh crore, they will not come at a time. There are chances that most of them they come, or they will come at a different time period. They will not come all at the same time period. Even if they come same time period, they will not withdraw the entire amount at one go. I hope this concept is clear. And this is the reason why a small fraction bank used to keep with them. Why only fraction of deposits, not whole deposits, are kept as a cash reserve. Otherwise bank can keep the whole reserve, whole amount, whole deposit as a reserve, because there are chances that all the depositor will come at a time and they will ask for the whole money. But no, bank used to keep only a small fraction with them so as to keep secure. And it is like bank have one opinion that all the depositor will not come at a time, and even if they come at a time, they will not withdraw the all money. So this is first reason. Second reason, there is a constant flow of new deposits into the bank. Regularly, deposit is not a like two concepts we have discussed, the stock and flow. It a kind of flow concept, which is a period of time. So deposit is a regular period. Every day there are numbers like crores of rupees which is deposited in big banks. So it is not a constant concept that once a deposit is done, that is done. It is a regular process. There will be regular deposit and regular withdrawal. So money flow and money circulation will be there. So this is the reason why a small fraction of money is kept as a reserve. Now this is very important table that you are supposed to know, and we will see the reasons and how this whole table is created. This table is there in order to understand the concept of credit creation. On the basis of understanding of this table only, you will be able to solve out the numerical question. This whole table is divided with three main portions. First is the deposits, which is considered as initial deposit, the beginning deposit, first time deposit, initial deposits. Next is the loan, means the out of this deposit the amount that the commercial bank lends to other person as a loan. And the next is the cash reserve, which is LRR, the liquidity reserve ratio, which is decided by Central Bank of India. If it is 20%, say there must be one rate of LRR. So what happened? This LRR, this reserve ratio, will be the ratio from total deposits. Initial deposit is 1000. Now out of 1000, bank is liable to keep the LRR as 200. So bank will keep 20%. 20% means out of 1000, what will be 20%? This will be 200. So bank will keep with them 200. Remaining amount is, leftover amount is 800. So this left amount is there to give as a loan, and whole amount will be given as a loan. I hope this concept is clear to you. Initial deposit done by depositors is 1000. Now LLR decided by central bank is 20%. So out of 1000, 20%, that is 200, bank will keep as a reserve with them. Remaining amount 800 they will give as a loan. Now move to next round. In the assumption what we have seen, all the receipt and all the payment will be done through bank. Means whatever loan that bank is giving will not be given in form of cash. Rather than bank will open one account of the person in the bank, and through account only bank will pay this 800. We have taken as an example only. So in round 1, now if bank is giving this 800 to any person as a loan, what he will do, the whole receipt he will keep in the deposit. What he will do, he will deposit in the bank. Round 1, in round 1, this 800 rupees which is given as a loan, now that person will took the amount and this he will deposit into bank. Even if he is making an expenditure, so whosoever is the earning money, whosoever is getting this 800, so he will be depositing ultimately it into the bank. So in round 1, now this 800 is deposited into bank. Now again, as 800 is deposited, so what will be there? Out of this 800, 20%, that is 160 rupees. Out of 800, 800 into 20 by 100, that is 160. 160 will be reserve. That reserve will be kept by the bank. Remaining amount is 640. Now this 640 is the amount that bank will give to its customer as a loan. As a loan, they will open the account and then they will, whosoever customer will go get this amount, he will be making certain expenditure, certain investment, and when he will make an expenditure, it will be income of someone else. And what he will do, whosoever will be earning this 640 rupees, he will keep this in the bank. Now in round 2nd, this 640 rupees again deposited into bank. What bank will do now again? Out of this 640, 20% as a reserve, that is 128 rupees. Remaining 512 rupees again they will lend to someone else. So in this way this process will move on and this will go in a continuous process. And when the process will end, deposit creation come to an end. This whole process of credit creation or deposit creation comes to an end. When it comes to an end, when total cash reserve, the total cash reserve becomes equal to the initial deposit. What is total cash reserve? This is the cash reserve. When this total cash reserve, this is the last column, total cash reserve. When this total cash reserve, that is 1000, will equal to initial deposit. What was the initial deposit? 1000. Now this 1000 and 1000 are equal. So when total of cash reserve is equal with the initial deposit, at that point there will be completion of the credit creation or deposit creations. I hope the concept of this credit creation is clear to you and this table is clear to you. Let us see once more that initial deposit is 1000. Bank is liable to keep 20% as a reserve. 200 they kept reserve. What is the amount they can lend? 800. Whosoever will be getting the 800, they will make an expenditure or investment. Expenditure and investment will be earning of someone else, and that income he will give it to bank, that we have seen assumptions. Then he will kept in the bank. So once, even because payment will be done through bank also and receipt will be done through bank also. Again 800 comes to bank, then it 160 LRR, again amount given 640. So this process will move on. So what we are saying, initial deposit was 1000 and the total deposit 5000. So 5 times the initial deposit was 1000 and total credit creation is 5000. So what we can say, credit creation is 5 times. Credit creation is 5 times. So total deposit is 5000, whereas initial deposit was 1000. It means total deposits become 5 times of the initial deposit. This is known as money multiplier. I hope this concept is clear to you, the concept of money multiplier. So total deposit is 500,000, whereas initial deposit was 1000. It means total deposit becomes 5 times of the initial deposits, and this whole process is known as the credit creation or money creation, and this leads to money multiplier. So the next topic that we will cover will be the concept of money multiplier. Over there we will discuss the numerical questions, we will discuss the formula for multiplier, money multiplier, and we will discuss how to solve the numericals of money multiplier, because there are chances that there will be one numerical from this table on how to calculation of initial amount. They will provide you the end amount. Hope the concept is clear to you. We will continue with this in the coming videos. Thank you very much. Have a very good day.